Hey y'all, hey y'all. Thanks for coming to LRGA Curves today. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Go ahead and ring the bell so you can get notified next time we upload a video. And so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing in these YouTube streets. You know the drill. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. I know. Well, I'm just trying to use their feature to go live instead of through StreamYard. And it won't let me have a background. And I can't put my face up like usual. So there's that. But I do have something else I'm going to be sharing with us over here in just a second. Thanks for coming through, Mademoiselle. Happy Saturday. Thanks for coming through, Miss Kiki. Happy Saturday. Bianca Edwards is in the house. Happy Saturday to you, Bianca. And she's saying happy Saturday, Curvies. Thank you all for tuning in. LRGA Curves. Hope you're ready for a good show. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. All right. And as you enter the room, I appreciate you guys for being here. I know this new outlay is not the bee's knees. I don't have the option to do like my thumbnail with my face with my glasses as I usually do. It's either this or my actual face, which I don't know. I'm not feeling like showing me right now. It's still kind of Saturday morning at my house. And yeah, so I'm just lounging around right now. So I won't be showing me, but I will be showing you what the heck Candy Burris said recently. And I wanted to talk about it because, look, I thought it was really interesting that Candy Burris, formerly of Real Housewives of Atlanta, currently of Latasha's Escape, chimed in on the suspension of Miss Kenya Moore. And so let's share that first. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Here we go. Here's that. There it is. There it is. So, yeah, I can't move this around. I can't. But we're doing the best we can. Supposedly, if I go live on YouTube Stream Studios, it's supposed to get me up in their algorithm or something like that. Like they're supposed to reward you for using their studio. So that's part of the reason that I'm opting to use their live session. But here, let's listen to what Candy Burris had to say. Let me make sure my volume's up. She was recently on what's this called? Morning Takeover, June Joe Street's Morning Takeover. I think that's what that sign says back there. And it's Candy and Tiny on the show. Let's listen.
Housewives, you ain't there no more.
No.
Aren't you glad that you ain't there this season? I'm telling how good this shit. They threatening to shoot people. I don't think that ever happened on the show. What?
And you know what? I right now I'm like, okay, it's good. I ain't there, good, But Cynthia's like, okay, once the show actually airs, she said I'm gonna miss it then. Okay. I don't miss it so much now. And realistically, I do see stuff and I'm like, why they doing that? Like, I don't like the fact that they suspended Kenya. Yeah. I know a lot of people's like, she shouldn't have shown that. But it's the Housewives. Like, how many times we done did something that you think somebody shouldn't do? So who made the rules? Like, right. Why y'all all of a sudden got such an issue with somebody doing something crazy to somebody?
Believe it or not, that drama.
If it was in the public, if it was in the internet, and the girl came at her, it's like, okay, well,
that was the
you don't get to choose how she come back. So I just wasn't feeling all of that, but hey, we'll see when it come on TV.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really an interesting take coming from the Candy Burris, formerly of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she opted out this season, allegedly by choice. And she took her act on the road with Latasha's escape. And I was really surprised that we heard those words come out of her mouth, to the point where I was like, let's go live about this, Curvies. Let's go live about this, because it's really interesting to me. It's not lost on me at all, rather, should I say, that urban legend has it that Phaedra Parks was not allowed to come back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta for words that she said about Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker allegedly wanting to do things, if you will, to Portia. Remember that? So, Curvies, we're here to talk about it, and I want you to sound off in the chat, if you mind, after you smash that like button on your way in. And if you haven't already, go ahead and ring the bell, because I went live a lot today, and you wouldn't know it if I wouldn't, if you don't have that bell rung, okay? Because we already went live this morning with Candace Dillard Bassett, Real Housewives of Potomac, formerly. And we got to see her baby bump really good this morning, you guys. Be sure and go back and check that video out if you weren't part of that live stream. Good morning to everybody entering. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you are a curvy and a content creator, go ahead and drop your link. And if you're a moderator and you see my fellow curvies, go ahead and drop their links. You know what we do. There's enough to go around. So I hope you guys can hear me okay. But the reason I decided to put this picture up with the school teacher's chalkboard in the back is because I'm kind of like her, what's going on? What's going on? What is going on? Because the math isn't mathing to me. When the woman in the middle, who is Kandi Burruss, fixed her mouth to say what we just heard, and we'll listen to it again. Let me know if you can hear this.
Cindy, Housewives, you ain't there no more.
No.
Aren't you?
Can you hear that? Or can only I hear that? Do I have to be sharing that stream with you to hear that? Can we work out my technical issues together, Curvies? Were you able to hear that audio that was just playing? Let's see. Oh, great. You heard it, Be More. Right on. Thanks.
That you ain't there this season. They pulling out guns and shit. They threatening to shoot people. I don't think that ever happened on the show before.
What? And you know what? I be I right now I'm like, okay, it's good. I ain't there, good, you know. But Cynthia's like, okay, once the show actually airs, she said I'm gonna miss it then. Okay. I don't miss it so much now. And realistically, I do see stuff and I'm like, why they doing that? Like, I don't like the fact that they suspended Kenya. Yeah. I know a lot of people's like, she shouldn't have shown that. But it's the housewives. Like, how many times we done did something that you think somebody shouldn't do? So who made the rules? Like, why y'all all of a sudden got such an issue with somebody doing something crazy to somebody? Believe it or not, that drama. If it was in the public, if it was in the internet, and the girl came at her, it's like, okay, well, that was the. We don't get to choose how she come back. So I just wasn't feeling all of that. But hey, we'll see when it come on TV. Yeah.
So we listened to that again, and I still have the same exact feeling about. That's a very interesting stance for a woman who kept the other woman on the show when there were no rules about how to react or how to interact with each other. I mean, that was closer to the nexus of the show than today. So there have obviously been precedents since that time. But for the same woman to be the one who allegedly kept Phaedra off the show for Phaedra was Bravo absent until Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip at Dorinda Medley's Blue Manor. She was basically MIA from the Bravo sphere. And urban legend allegedly has it that that is due to Kandi Burruss. And there were no rules in place. A lot of crazy things had been done at that point, marching bands inappropriate actions with husbands, stealing video ideas for booty workouts. I mean, you can name it in the list, hey Hubs, and the list goes on and on and on. And there was no rule book at the time for Phaedra on whether or not it was apropos to repeat a rumor from a producer who fed her a story to repeat to Portia that Candy had a dungeon and wanted to take her there after she gave her some type of, D so she could go to the thing and get the D with Todd. Uh-huh. Remember that whole freaking fiasco? Well, if you don't, just remember what Candy just said while we listen to this. Let's see. Is it here? Is it? So Candy said, oh, that shouldn't matter. Well, what she's talking about shouldn't matter is this, and I'll show us again. Where'd it go? Okay. Uh-oh. Wait a second, you guys. It was just right there. Let me see. Darn, it's up there. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to listen to the actual audio of what Candy says isn't such a bad thing. There are no rules. You can react to people exactly how you want to react to them. There's nothing to see here, folks. There's no rules, so why on earth?
There's an ITU for her email that on there. She charges $1,400 for appointment. You only a home, you a you only cover the magazines, being a side, you cover the magazines. You all of those okay? You over here on Snapchat. Your daddy was like Snapchat me that pussy. You are paying for all my dad's escort. There's an ITU for her email out on there. She charges $1,400 for appointment. You not only a home, you a you all cover the magazines, being a side, you cover the magazines. You all of those okay? You over here on Snapchat.
So you guys, Candy Burris, who kept Phaedra Parks allegedly off the show because Phaedra did this. Let's see. I don't want to show you that at all.
My ass. And it's there. Yeah, and so as I was saying, she denied it at first because she a big liar. If you're gonna shade
you thought I was telling your other business.
There is no other business,
oh,
ma'am.
there is, and I told you all about
other
it.
Business,
Read
ma'am.
all about it.
You're full of shit.
And read all about it.
Google my ass.
And it's there.
Yeah, and so is yours. So is yours.
Okay, Jada from Pasadena said, Portia, why did you deny that you kissed Candy and said you wanted to eat her out, then to drug you to take advantage of you? Or even think to try to drug you to take advantage of you. Why would you think that?
The club incident was 3 years ago. The situation you're talking about, I was told that just last year. I work for Dish Nation. I am in the world of journalism. So my word needs to be...
Journalism is...
So you're downplaying my job? We do report on news.
Okay.
And a lot of our news, we like to make sure that it's accurate.
Okay.
Period. So I don't
So
want
I
to be
lost
known
on
as a liar, period.
Okay.
So with that being said, I was served a cease and desist by Candy, and I no longer can speak on the subject. So what I want to do is have Phaedra speak, because she's the one who told me that Candy said that.
You said that? That I wanted to drug her.
So now we know.
So that is what happened to get Phaedra off the show, right? Was because Phaedra used words and allegedly repeated a rumor that a producer who they allege was Carlos King, who's denied it, and who Phaedra's never confirmed was the person. But yeah, so Phaedra said what you just heard, allegedly, that they wanted to drug and her, have their way with her. And that woman was not allowed in Bravo for 5 years. And allegedly a producer told it to her. And we all know very, 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 very well that these producers will go the extra mile and up to and including your marrying your boyfriend who they were on the show with you with, who they knew was your man. Marry him 6 months later. So these freaking producers are some wily ones, right? And they have been known to feed stories set up in situations that will breed drama and be what they call good television. And that force multiplier thing that's just all about being good television, you know? So I could see some producer telling Phaedra about drugging rumors with Candy Burris would be something to throw out there, because that whole rumor about a dungeon was already out there, right? And allegedly. And so it's just really interesting that she was sitting up there getting ready to cry. She had that little quake in her voice. She was getting ready to cry, hearing that Phaedra said words to Portia, and then Phaedra wasn't allowed back for 5 years. Never did we ever hear Candy say, oh, there's not a rule book. There's not. We didn't hear her say this.
Okay. So, Candy, Housewives, you ain't there no more.
No.
Aren't you glad that you ain't there this season? I'm pulling out guns and shit. They threatening to shoot people. I don't think that ever happened on the show. What?
Hey, you know what? I'll be I right now I'm like, okay, it's good. I ain't there, good, but Cynthia's like, okay, once the show actually airs, she said I'm gonna miss it then. Okay. I don't miss it so much now. And realistically, I do see stuff and I'm like, why they doing that? Like, I don't like the fact that they suspended Kenya. Yeah. I know a lot of people's like, she shouldn't have shown that. But it's the Housewives. Like, how many times we done did something that you think somebody shouldn't do? So who made the rules? Like, why y'all all of a sudden got such an issue with somebody doing something?
So my question is it all of a sudden? Is it all of a sudden, Candy? Or has a precedent been set specifically on this show where punishment comes swift, heavy, and where there are no rules? There are no rules in the whole housewife sphere. You just said it. So, but all of a sudden there become rules for some housewives, like Phaedra. There become rules for how Candy is saying it, for Ken in this situation. Candy is saying that because there's not something in rule, there's no rule book, that misdemeanors are acceptable. That felonies, I guess, by proxy are acceptable. Sorry. Just use some pine salt. Just a second. Yeah. So there was no rules for the words that Phaedra used. What Ken has done is far harsher to me than the words and the rumor, an alleged rumor about a dungeon where you have your way with people, which technically that's what a dungeon is for, is to have your way with the people. If they go into the sex dungeon, is to have your way with them, because that's what happens in sex dungeons. 50 Shades of Grey. Check your book. Read your literature. Okay? Dungeons usually involve having your way with the people until the safe word is said. Okay? So it's interesting that Candy has like this expansive perspective now, all of a sudden, might I add, because we haven't never got, she doesn't even speak on Phaedra. Her and her no rule book having ass. She won't even utter Phaedra's name. Okay? She won't even entertain a sentence over a non-rule book rumor being said in 2017, and it's 2024 now, y'all. And this is Candy's perspective in 2024 about something that happened in 2024 with images along with that soliloquy we heard where she was trying to slut shame Brittany for charging $1,400 for Snapchat cat. Snapchat cat going for $1,400. And did we hear Ken then say she would have charged or had charged $25? So that made Brittany a cheap hoe on top of it. Is that what we heard her say? Miss, don't tear down Black women's business. Is that what we heard? So all of this is just so kind of on brand for 2024 and this whole mind fuckery that we have going on, where people are looking at blue and everybody sees blue and they're like, oh, look at this orange. And everybody's just going along with it. Like they have to see orange because the daftest one in the room said that was orange. I mean, look, if it was a problem for Phaedra Candy, who you specifically still don't even utter her name, and who you specifically still don't even take the time to like remedy anything. And there was no rule book in play during that time, was there? There wasn't a rule book, was there? But today, in 2024, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 7 years later, Candy feels like because there are no rules, nothing matters, especially a misdemeanor, which revenge porn is in Georgia, if this is allegedly revenge porn. But you can hear in the audio that we just played from Kenya's soliloquy about being a slut, that the woman in the back is saying, that's a penis. That's a penis. That's a penis. That's a penis. She is saying that right now. Let's listen. I'll turn it back. If you hear it good, you'll hear her say, that's a penis.
There's an IG who put her emails out on flash. She charges $1,400 for an appointment. You not only a hoe, you a chick. You all cover the magazines, being the style, you cover the magazine. You all of those.
Okay. And she had big posters to accompany that speech that Kandi Burruss, as a businesswoman, as a mother, as a reality star, she feels like that's fair game to put images up, sexually explicit images up, along with a hate speech, literal hate speech, attempting to shame, humiliate, harass, and embarrass her newest co-star. And because there's no rule book, Kandi Burruss, speak on it herself, doesn't think there's a problem. And I just had to come on here and share that with you guys because I'm like, my mind is blown. Okay. Because even Sheree was like this when it happened.
I'm sure it's draining watching it, just being in there in the atmosphere, in the midst of everything going on, and you're hearing all these things. It's like, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to explain when, but I know that all the viewers would be super duper. They're gonna be shocked. I mean, we were shocked. When I'm sitting there and I'm hearing everything that's going on, I'm like, how can one person or be so cruel, so evil? It's just unthought. Like you're that angry, you're that spiteful, you're that hateful for that one person, and you would concoct something like this. It's just evil. Like, you can't. How can you be around or trust somebody who's capable of doing such a thing?
In the teaser, Kandi was screaming and crying about Portia calling her the witch.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on all?
Well, if you accuse someone of attempting to drug you, then why else would you be drugging somebody if you were not saying that they were going to rape you? On that sense, I'm definitely thinking, yeah, that's not cool.
Is there one moment that is going to shock fans the most, would you say?
I mean, it's several moments, but one moment, no one's going to see it coming. Absolutely no one. We didn't see it coming.
Does that mean it's one person in particular?
Not one person, no. Well, you have to watch.
In the past, we've seen things get physical. Does it go that route at all or no?
Not physical, just disgusting. I mean, yeah. If I can tease the reunion in 3 words, I would say epic, emotional, and I would say just bizarre.
So that was Sheree Whitfield back in May 2017. And it was about how the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion concludes with the complete undoing of Phaedra Parks. Okay? So, but there was no rule book. And worse stuff has been done. And I mean, we're on reality TV. Interesting, huh? Based off of what I just heard, I'm wondering if there was some type of alliance that was against Phaedra to use that to get her off the show. Like, everybody was so offended by what she could have possibly done, and now we can't trust her. And basically, that was the first Monica Garcia-ing that we saw, but didn't see possibly. So in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Monica Garcia did some things, and allegedly the other ladies were like, how can we trust her? We can't film with her. How can we move on? So they kicked off Monica Garcia. And we thought it was the first time. I was thinking that's the first time this ever happened. Since when did the housewives get this much power? I thought they were ensemble class and there was production and there was other people and they was just there getting a check. I didn't know. Where did they get all this power all of a sudden? And now I'm realizing that might be what happened way back in 2017. Because I just found this interview that we watched with Sheree Whitfield. And so I'm like, That's really even an interesting response from Sheree, right? So then we had Andy talk about he needed to see if Phaedra was returning. Let's listen to this BS. Because Andy's really running things over there. And he makes sure that the culture for stereotyping is ripe. Come on, play.
She was unemotional, which surprised me. Yes, I'm really good. Mix-ups? Yeah, like oh, who knows? That's a good question. That's the conversation we start having next week.
So, and you know how Andy loves to see what we're feeling and know what we're feeling. I'm live. I'm live. I'm live right now. Oh no, I'm gonna hang up. I'll talk to you guys later. Look, he's all mute yourself. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna stay on my live. Thank you. So yeah, I just thought that was a really interesting stance to come from Miss Candy Girl. Okay, and I think I had one more. So I had the Phaedra Parks not returning. And so this is what I wanted us to hear, that the viewers were left shocked after questioning Phaedra who could return at that time, which revealed that Phaedra was the person who created the rumor. But also legend has it that who's it's called? Todd and Candy allegedly they received a settlement and had to sign an NDA or something like that. Did you guys ever hear that? I had that up, and I think it's, let me real quick. Phaedra Parks, Jasmine, Phaedra. No. It was a full on, and it had them up. I X'd out of it. Darn. Let's see. Forward. Let's try on this one. Oh well. But needless to say, right now for us, I'll Google it for us right now.
You are paying for all my days. Brittany does escort. There's an iTunes store emailed out on Flash. She charges $1,400 for appointment. You not only a home, you are you all cover the magazines, being the side, you cover the magazine. You all of those all okay? You over here on Snapchat. Your body was like Snapchat me that pussy. You are paying for all my days. Brittany does escort. There's an iTunes store emailed out on Flash. She charges $1,400 for appointment. You not only a home, you are you all cover the magazines, being the side, you cover the magazine. You all okay? You over here on Snapchat. Your body was like Snapchat me that pussy.
That's crazy, right? Here, be quiet. Shh. Okay, there. Is she crazy? I'm looking for the article I found earlier. It might have been a fake website, though, you guys, if it's not up yet, and we already scrolled down the page. Maybe that's why it's not popping back up. I think it might have been that site that I only spent 3 seconds on because it started making hella pop-ups on my thing. Yeah. And if it's not coming up, So this is from May 9th, 2017. Housewife star Candy Burris may sue Phaedra for spreading date rape rumor. And look, so she considered that spread by telling Portia and then having it repeated at the reunion on TV, and then also telling Portia on TV. She said that was harmful to her business and all this other stuff. And so what did she think that was all that we just heard Ken did to Brittany was going to be? Why would, and there's no rule book, and she wanted to sue her over words, the rumor that allegedly the freaking producer gave her. So it's an unsubstantiated rumor had been floating around that claimed Candy and her husband, Todd Tucker, wanted to drug cast member Portia Williams and take advantage of her sexually. However, during Housewives reunion show, Phaedra confessed to being the source of the rumor, but maintained that she only repeated what she heard. So that means that she's not like the full-on source, right? So that was double lawyer speak for, I'm going to cover your ass because you're a producer and you're supposed to come out here and save me eventually, but that never happened. She was promptly fired from the show. Okay, but we may not have seen the last of ongoing saga, as Phaedra could find herself in court during the interview with Ryan Cameron. Candy was asked if she planned to sue Phaedra. Yeah, I thought about it. I have to talk to my attorneys to see. The damage has definitely been done. They told me I should sue Portia first when it came out at the reunion that Portia got the information from Phaedra. I was like, you know what? Let's just hold up until you guys get to see the whole thing, and I'll get there. I should handle it from there. Then added that lawsuits are stressful, so she may just let it be. Still, because of the rumor, she has said her reputation has been damaged. Even if somebody said they didn't necessarily believe it, there's a stigma of don't put your drink down around her. Candy, who said Phaedra has no remorse, said she understands that some of the drama stems from simply being on reality TV, but said a line was crossed. So there's a line for Candy, even with no rules, when the show is even younger than 7 years now. I mean, that was like season 5, right? Wait, was that season 2017? She wasn't going to be returning for season 10. So that was season 9. So in season 9, there was a line that was crossed. There was a line that was crossed because of words. Okay. I get it. We signed up for a show, but at least let me deal with something that's true. It's hard to defend yourself against a lie. My whole thing was, we're put in a hot seat daily. What is Bravo going to do about this? Are you all going to accept this? Is it okay for people to come on the show and make up lies about cast members? That was her question way back in 2017. What are you pissed about? Oh my God. They're crazy. So yeah, I just think it's really interesting how the line has moved. The line is constantly moving, I guess, and you'll move it when you need to. When your name is Candy Burris, and you'll move it for who you need to move it for when your name is Phaedra Parks. Phaedra Parks Esquire, who is looking extra stellar these days. But yeah, let's get at some of these comments before we bounce on this Saturday. I don't want to keep you guys too long. My day is gorgeous. It's supposed to be 102 out here. I didn't get any of those excessive heat warnings for 3 days in advance this time. Somebody must have heard me complain about trying to get my pressure up before regular normal shit happens. But I do have a question. So I've been wondering, I was just talking to husband about it. You know how during the winter time, I don't know if you're in your neck of the woods, they have this thing called wind chill. And so we have these things called thermometers, and the mercury rises and it measures how hot or cold the room is, right? And so those are supposed to be like tried and true, accurate instruments to measure temperature. This is all a whole digression, y'all. But I was wondering how it is that the thermometer will say like, oh, it's 12 degrees. But with the wind chill, they always say it's -2. So my question is, why wouldn't the temperature just be -2 fucking degrees, you guys? How can it be 1 degrees so it can be 12 degrees? How can it simultaneously be 12 degrees but feel like it's -12, -2 degrees? Can somebody explain that to me? I'm not like real sciencey, but it's puzzling me because this morning I got up and I had my window open and I looked at the temperatures and it said it was only like, 60 something. And I'm like, well, damn, it doesn't feel like 60 something. I refreshed my browser and everything. And I looked on my computer and then I looked on my phone and they both said the same thing. But then it had this little thing underneath the temperature that said 69 degrees. And then it said right under it, feels like 78. Which is what the fuck it felt like to me when I was questioning why did I see that it was 60 something degrees. So I'm wondering, what's up with the confusion? Why put on here right now on my computer, it says that it's 86 degrees. When I click and hover over the temperature, let's see what this shit says now. Oh, I don't want the pictures. My bad. Let's go here. Feels like 94. I'm going to show you guys what I'm fucking talking about because they got me twisted. I'm like, why do I have to feel crazy in this world, God? Why do I have to feel crazy in this world? Why can't it just be simple that it is what it fucking is? Okay? So are you guys familiar with this phenomenon? Right here. Did I share it? You should be able to see it any second. You see this? I'm in Elk Grove, California, right? 86 degrees. But you guys see this shit? Because I'm standing in my room and I have my window cracked just for, I like the house to breathe. Even if I have the AC on a smidge, I have my window open, a crack, and it just feels like the sauna through this little crack of my window. And I'm like, well, damn, it's hot outside. Well, maybe it's because it's so cool in my house with the AC still on. No, it's because we're in the freaking upside down, even though I'm choosing to express on my most benevolent timeline. I want to know how my temperature thing can say it's 86, but it doesn't feel 86. Therefore, it's not 86 technically, but it feels like 94, which it isn't because it's 86. Are you guys with me? Am I freaking crazy? This is lunacy. I don't remember growing up and it being like this. I remember them being like, it's hot, it's cold. I don't remember there being ever in my growing up that there was a sub temperature that we had to be aware of. I didn't even get on this wind chill shit until I was living on my own back east. And I'm walking outside, me and Pam Lokman trying to keep our weight off in the winter, still going walking in the snow. Said it was 12 degrees, but with the wind chill, it was -2. And that was the first time I questioned it. And so it's been a long question. But that was only happening with the coldness, it seemed. And now they're fucking with my heat. And mama already runs hot. You know about the situation with my baby hairs. You already know. So I need to know what hot, and cold is going to be. Just tell me the hottest that it's going to be. Don't tell me what it feels like it's going to be. No. 86 feels like. Now that's almost 10 freaking degrees difference, y'all. Something's broken. And I would say that it's the thing that told them to tell me that it's 86. They should just have that say 9, 4, and take away this whole feels like shit. Because I need some facts over feelings. And then I can dress accordingly. You know 86 to 94, that's the difference in a whole dress material. That's, do I want to wear linen, cotton? We're definitely not putting no polyester in 94. I don't think I want to mess with no rayon in 94, but I might mess with polyester and rayon in the 80s. At 86, I might throw on a little polyester sheen number. But in the 90s, I don't want that to start melting. Just give me the facts over the feelings. That's all I'm saying, Curvies. I hope I didn't feel too weird about that. But look, mama runs hot already. And things already aren't what they seem already. So don't be coming in here with the 86 feels like nothing else. Anyway, let's get back to these comments. I'm crazy. I'm a little crazy, y'all. And I had my coffee this morning. Thanks for coming through. Smash those buttons. Ring the bell if you haven't already. So we have some roll call. We already had Mademoiselle Miss Kiki Bianca. And then we had Be More Shorty is in the house. Oh, Smiling Erin. Yes, she's in the house. Ghana Girl Travels. I think you might be new. Right on. Thanks for coming through. Malicious lies that she made up, not words, for which she is not remorseful about till today. Okay. Yeah, but my whole point is that the words were not accompanied by an image. Words alone, she didn't sue her, so it must not have been suable, because I don't think I would have cried wolf on something that messed with my reputation as much as I said. Not to mention the fact that, look, I feel like it's a wash anyway, technically, especially the way that Candy Girl turned her lemons into lemonade and went on tour with the whole sex dungeon, mimicking, taking advantage of people, having their way with people on stage for money. She made a whole franchise out of it. So I feel like she definitely doesn't have any room to ever be mad at Phaedra again. She needs to call her and thank her, and needs to take her out to lunch and let her drink out of a penis mug and eat off of a twat plate or something like that, because she obviously came out the winner in that situation. So I'm not sure about it. But let's see. The Disney talk and positive vibes. Yes, we had a great freaking Disney trivia over at Smiling with Erin. If you guys ever go over there, it's so much fun. Go subscribe. Chanel's Reality is in the house. Palaver, thanks for coming through. Happy Saturday. Right on. I was driving, pardon my manners. Happy Saturday. No worries. No, you stay safe over everything. Right on. Let's see. I would love to speak on it in my Candy Burris voice, right? I mean, look, I don't know. I kind of feel like that was a little duplicitous. I mean, if freaking Ken has to be gone for 5 years, if Portia has to be gone for 5 years, surely Ken can be suspended. Surely. Okay? How about your actions are morally wrong? Forget misdemeanor or felony. Thank you, Palaver Girl. Ken has a tendency, proven always, denigrating Black women, then being sweet to white ones. Yes, watch Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. She did not take her glamazon stance on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. You are right. You are right about that. But with the other ones, like she did with Britt, she stood in the front of the thing and she did her soliloquy, because that's what she does with the Black ones. Okay, what Kenya did was in the workplace. Can you imagine a coworker doing something like this? Like, do you really need your freaking employee handbook to explicitly say, don't show my ass without my permission in front of my coworkers? I don't think so. Yeah, it's the heat coming in that window, y'all. I'm making this a little cooler in here. And I'm going to close that door because the heat was rising from upstairs too. But yeah, you go, oh my God. And I've been seeing a lot of things lately about how Black women treat each other in the workplace. And I don't know if this brought it up and to my algorithm, because I've been talking about it, or looking for evidence of what Kenya has done. So it's been coming up a lot in my feed on available videos to watch about women talking about how we interact, specifically Black women, and why do we like hurt each other in the workplace. And that it goes along with that whole, what was that lady's name? Lonnie Lon and Tamar Braxton. Allegedly, Lonnie Lon wanted to be the only Black woman on the thing, even though Tamar was already on the thing. And so she went against Tamar with the other white ladies so she could be the only Black one on the thing. And then jokes on her because they just kept on bringing Black replacements. See, you never win when you play dirty, as Nene Leakes would say. But that's just the alleged rumor over there. And I don't know. I am not that type of Black human, getting away from the colors. But I'm not that kind of human that I'm already one of only, a handful in there, right? Every work environment I've been in, I've been like one of a handful of us. What do they used to call us? Flies in the sugar, right? Because it's like this sea of white, and then you see some Black people, some Black flecks, right? So what do they call us? Token Blacks or whatever. And there at no time was I ever wanting to be the only one. It's such an isolated feeling to be one of few in a room of hundreds, sometimes thousands, as the only representation of yourself, with all of the self-talk and, just reasons that a person, a minority, air quotes, could have for feeling uneasy in a sea of whiteness. I mean, how safe are we usually in a sea of whiteness? So it doesn't make any sense to me that the narrative would be that we want to be the only one of us somewhere. What the fuck? There's definitely more safety in numbers, in my opinion. So I'm not real sure what Black person would want to be the only one in the office or in the work environment. That just sounds insane. That sounds insane to me because of my own personal experiences with that. You go to a work conference and it's like thousands and thousands of employees. And it's like, oh, you get there and you're like, oh, I was a diversity hire because you're like one of a handful. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I think that's a horrible thing. In her defense, Andy did say, oh, stop doing that, Larja. And to her defense, Andy did say at that point, Phaedra didn't have anybody to film with since they were all, yes, okay. So Dina, you're right. And that's the same thing that he said about Monica's not returning to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, is also because nobody would film with her. But I don't know. It's still like this weird thing because when people felt like Nene Leakes, which all roads lead back to, did not want to film with certain people, that she was ruining the show. She's ruining the show. She shouldn't have that much power. And it was all kind of problems when, to me, Nene was establishing healthy fucking boundaries for these ankle-biting bitches coming after her all season long, coming for her HBIC position in the head number one in charge, which still they don't have since she left. Yeah, I said it again. But they made it a problem when Nene was literally defending herself and setting up healthy boundaries for it to now become the norm where you can rally together and be like, oh, we're not filming with that bitch, and make somebody lose their job. But to this day, the Nene haters will still be like, oh, Nene was trying to take those women's jobs and trying to stop their money. But what did these women really do to Nene? She only answered questions. Nene answered questions. As honest as you ask is as honest as you get in the answer. And they mad at her for answering questions, making her lose her job for answering questions. Because then they turn around and, oh, we don't want to film with her. Whatever. I want Kenya to make some poster boards to humiliate Mark, because whatever Brittany Edie did can't be worse than how Mark Daly embarrassed Ken. Exactly. I mean, he literally has me calling her Ken. Her not ex-husband has me, a woman, calling Miss USA Ken. And feeling fine about it, because she accepts it as a term of endearment from her baby daddy, allegedly. Okay? So yeah, I need some poster boards on that. How about that? But nope. Certain people love the patriarchy, but will always tear their fellow woman down. Ken has a history of aggression towards Black women specifically. Yeah. I don't think she ever did anything backwards towards KKK Kim. I don't remember her having any problems with KKK Kim like that, did she? Well, they got into it that one season. She said something to her at that white party. Did she push Kim? Okay, well, I take it back. Did she push Kim? Something happened she brought up how Kim's daughter gives blowjobs for tickets or something. So she can go there, but she didn't say anything about Kim specifically. She didn't try to mess up her business. She did knock her motherhood, which is very important to her. Yes. Okay, I get it. Everybody can get some in Ken's world. This proves to me why never seen it for boring candy, right? She and Ken have destroyed this franchise because they think they're better than Nene. Good job, ladies. Now a great bag for Black women is about gone. I know, right? Like, they messed it up for everybody. And that's the one thing I don't appreciate too, is like on other shows, on Real Housewives of New York, when they were doing the reboot, did you guys know? Yes, last season they had the reboot, and it was a cute little season. But that wasn't the original cast. They had a different cast, and they had like this Zionist influencer who got on the show and I believe said to Uba, because Uba was the blackest one and she didn't change, said the hard N-R word in front of Uba and then doubled down, him and the lady. And they were like in week 4 maybe of filming, and they kicked those people off, got somebody else, and kept it pushing. So I'm not sure why Real Housewives of Atlanta needs a complete pause when in New York, after a hiatus, because they didn't want to deal with their racist slip, decided to keep it pushing and just replace that racist ass decision they had made and keep it moving for production's sake, because all the other ladies were already locked in and had to eat. So they just got rid of the person that said nigga, but not like the Kendrick Lamar way. He said it his way with an R, and plus he's not Black. So there's that. So they kicked him off too sweet, fired her ass too sweet. There's not a rule book, but they fired them, and they let them tell the people that, oh, we chose to leave. But then all the stories leaked out about what had really happened. But they let her put it out there that she chose to leave. Yeah, it's true. So yeah, let's see. I want Sheree and Marlo back too. That wouldn't be a bad idea, but I really want Nene back. Nothing good is going to happen on Real Housewives of Who's It's What's. Nothing good is going to happen on Real Housewives of Atlanta until such time as they do right by Nene Leakes. Yep, as soon as they do right by Nene Leakes. All it would take is a conversation at the table. They don't even have to do it on film, even though they've disrespected her en masse for a long time. I feel like if they did some type of filmed event, it would benefit them so much. I don't want them to benefit from it. Therefore, they should do it and then let her have her job back. And then she can benefit from telling the people what she went through during the arbitration. But I don't think like that stuff should be filmed for us, only because Bravo 2 would benefit after their stubbornness and willingness to forego this woman's cries for amicable workplace free of racism and abuse and hostility, and then not talk to her for all these years. So nothing's good's going to happen until they do right by her. But I'll take Sheree and Marlo in the meantime. Chanel's reality is in the house. Oh, Brenda's here. Let's see. Brenda says, Candy just co-signed on something that she would sue about, right? If it happened to Riley, okay? I'm sick of these Black women who have no respect for other Black women. Rules, workforce laws, GA revenge porn law. That's what I'm saying. Like, why do you even need rules to know that you shouldn't do misdemeanors at work? Or like the other person in the chat said, what about your moral code? What about what you want done to Brooklyn? What about what you want done to Riley? What about what you want done to Blaze? You know what I'm saying? So because there are no rules, if your daughter gets revenge porn, it's going to be okay. Really? Is that what we're really fucking saying? Because it wasn't written explicitly down, we don't have to pay attention? What? That's I mean, we hear rumors that these people sign their souls away for fame, but that definitely sounds like a prerequisite if you're going to let shit like that slide in order for you to stay famous. You know what I'm saying? That's disgusting. It's just like how all the people going to Epstein Island was fine until your name was about to come out on the list, right? Fuck you. That's disgusting. It's just freaking gross. Be right. Poor Monica is going to Adam's birthday party. She is so much better than this. She should be on Yes to expose Lisa Barlow, who's getting sued allegedly for being loaned $400,000 so that she could tell Mary Cosby that she was richer than Mary Cosby, which is not the truth because Mary Cosby is the richest on that show. Yeah, allegedly, which is why they're really mad. You know they don't like us uppity or richer than them. Mm-hmm. Kim got Kenya all the way together. Kim said, oh no, bitch, I got a man at home, a real one. Kim was like, bitch, if you want to be me, you want a man and you don't have one. And you want a baby and you can't. Ooh, she did say that, Chanel. Oh, Tugga, hi. And Sonia's in here. Sonia said, once Andy is gone, Nene might be brought back. You know, that's a possibility. I mean, but I feel like that's who she's also due an apology from. Like, so yeah, make your apology and then bounce, bitch. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling like on that. Because who is Andy to get to, who is this white gay man to get to narrate the Black woman experience and get to have it chopped up all in his way that makes it so, like for a lot of us, it's triggering what they call entertainment and what they allow to be entertainment with powerful, beautiful, melanated goddesses. And then it gets reduced. I mean, the only place I really like a reduction is in food. You know, like you reduce the raspberries and you get your raspberry reduction. Like I love a good reduction in culinary arts. But on a reality show that's supposed to be about reality, and in reality, what are we doing? We're living life to our fullest, hopefully. Hopefully we're chasing dreams. Hopefully we're like evolving. Hopefully we're learning every day and we're growing and we're expanding our minds and we're on this spiral, like influencing not only people in a positive way, but this whole freaking spiral is just like a positive kind of freaking bring everybody together, like K-Dot on stage energy, like greatness. Hopefully that's what the fuck you're doing in your reality. So when we get on Bravo and a show that's specifically geared towards us is allowed to be reduced to angry Black women, jealous Black women, typical stereotypical Black struggle love drama. You know what I mean? It's like that stuff is real, but that's a reduction of the greatness of these women. And to me, it feels like when the show first started, we felt that greatness. We felt that we were growing with them. We felt that we were like on this evolution up with them, like, because they were on the come up too, because they were fresh on TV, right? So this is a whole new world, right? For them too. Remember the first time Nene said she hasn't been to Publix in a while? I was like, yeah, that's excellent. That's reality. Moving on up. Woo! Her and Greg had the house built. Candy went from one house to two. Portia went and got her mini mansion. Everybody was on an evolution, a spiral up, and it seemed like they were supporting each other and like, you know, really getting to that light and going for it because there's enough to go around. But now the reduction is there's the lack, there's a scarcity, there's a, oh my God, if you're beautiful, that must make me ugly, therefore I'm going to attack your beautiful. There's a, oh my God, you're doing better than me, therefore I'm going to have to try to find something wrong with what you say is better than me in business because you're claiming to make millions, so I'm going to have to come up here and call you an insurance fraud hoe. Because my next video is going to tell how I'm struggling to get people in here for this thing that I invented on the second floor that I built. So it's a reduction of a natural phenomenon that's inherent in all of us to want to be a better person, to want to be more of who you are in a positive way. I don't know anybody in my real life who every day is waking up looking for some bullshit about me specifically so that they can use it on me and hurt me and bring up some bullshit from way back when that is not relevant to today's spiral up. I don't have anybody in my life like that today. I can't say that I ever entertain bitches like that. So it makes it really hard in this so-called reality for them to want to have this force multiplier phenomenon of a horrible, morally lacking, jealous, insecure, low vibrational bitch. When there's nothing but greatness inside of us. I mean, well, obviously there's some of that low vibrational bitch too, or else they wouldn't be able to film it. But it's what's nurtured. I suppose that if it was worth it to these women to show their awesomeness, their going up, their everything on the spiral up in a positive, we can all get it, let's all go. If that was rewarded, that would be shown. But these women have been on the show for what, 16 seasons now, and they've been conditioned into harmful stereotyping themselves for entertainment for us to ingest. If I was on TV, I would be changing the fucking narrative every chance I get. You would only see fucking greatness. You would see me if I had a problem, you would see me encounter a problem and then effectively find a solution and move through that problem and move on to greatness. That's what I would like to show the fucking people. You won't see me blow poster boards up of peen of a co-star along with a soliloquy about how I know they only paid $1,400 for Snapchat Cat. But that's just me. And talk about a soliloquy. Yeah, and I find it ironic too that allegedly Kenya is suing people because they were asked to sign NDAs. Okay, now on that, I keep hearing, shout out to Michelle A.T. Alien. I keep hearing that people are throwing around, specifically, she's Ken Moore is gonna be allegedly suing content creators, including Michelle A.T. Alien, because they broke NDAs and they showed some private stuff or blah blah blah. Michelle wasn't inside. Michelle did not have to sign anybody's NDA. So don't just believe the hype, you guys. She did a live from the event. If you go on her Patreon, and then the next day she told us some more about what was happening over there. She was there. Britt Eady was definitely in the house. Page 6 got it wrong. She literally showed us the video of Britt Eady leaving the event right before Portia left the event. Okay. She literally was sitting in her car during the fiasco of the porn reveal, allegedly. The alleged porn reveal, she definitely was sitting in her car. Yeah, so just don't believe all the hype out there. If maybe she's just trying to save face, the way she wrote that lying thing talking about she never did it. And then we got the audio that she definitely, everybody's saying that's a penis, and her giving the soliloquy about $1,400 Snapchat cat. So that's a lie. Lies detected. Lies detected. Lies detected. Let's see. Saying your coworker tried to spar and drug you is inappropriate and damaging to your image. It's not good workplace behavior either, but most people are justifying that. Yeah, y'all need to be consistent. Okay, I'm not justifying what Portia and Phaedra did. My versus comes in Candy's literal reaction. No, because I thought that was fucked up. And I didn't know what exactly should have happened. I thought we should have found out what producer, if any, told her, or where in fact she got that from. But she's like, what's that guy, Young Thug's YSL's attorney? She would rather be held in contempt of court and spend the night in jail than say what source told her the judge was colluding with witnesses. Allegedly. Yeah. But no, I'm not saying that that's okay. I'm just saying that's as bad as this. So why is firing okay, but suspension isn't? That's more my point. But they were both definitely get the hell out of here. You don't deserve this platform if you're going to abuse it like that. Get off. Go. Bye-bye. Right on. AAE is in the house. Voice twin. Sophia Darling is in the house. Sonia is in the house. Zaleen, hi. Did I miss anybody? Let's see. Right? Kenya created a hostile work environment. No one on any of the Bravo Shun has done stuff on camera like this. She is off the hook, and she's been rewarded with abhorrent behavior. She gets more camera time. We have to look at her in empty closets with tags still on the clothes for a husband who she doesn't have, who's never been to the house, who don't even come over there. She left the tags on that sad clothes in the closet, and they let her have that scene though, because she gets rewarded for her abhorrent behavior constantly, for her lies and treachery. Rewarded. I was on Michelle A.T. Alien live the other day. First of all, the most hilarious thing I ever watched, right? She was getting tea throughout, but I kept it mum till she did her Patreon. Good luck suing her, right? Right? People have it all wrong. They have it all wrong with Michelle. And I don't know. It's just like you look around and you look, I'm not sure how Michelle became the problem. You could clearly go to her thing and she was in the car, you guys, talking about how everybody else on the way in had to sign the NDA. Talking about it. Michelle put the real tea behind the wall. Even better legal protection for Michelle. Yep. Kenya does have a wretched spirit. She does. They used Tom. Where'd it go? They used Tom. That happened behind the scenes. Bye, Kenya, aka Kenya. One Who Cares is in the house. Thanks for coming through. Q and DJ, thanks for coming through. Right on. They have a channel in these YouTube streets, Q and DJ. Palaver Girl, there are so many horrors. Horrors in the world, right? We do not like the who-res over here. How do you spell horrors? Right? So if you make it into 2 syllables, it's who-res, right? So we don't do who-res over here. Okay? But I'm not gonna like shame you about it. Just keep your who-res ass away from me, and we won't have to be around each other. If Kenya is confident the images aren't revenge, then show us. Prove us all wrong. She can't because her attorneys said it could be considered RP. The laws are ever changing. Yep. So just be silent. That's what she should be. She shouldn't have came out and said she wasn't guilty if there was audio, though, that was going to say, that's a penis. That's a penis. And the lady like seemed amazed. I saw a picture of what it could be, and that was a very huge, veiny, mandingo type of penis in the picture. Okay. And it didn't even look all the way hard, you guys. And it was huge. I was like, Bolo? It was huge. So I'm not sure what. Yeah. That's how big it was. The lady was like, that's a penis. What has Kenya said about Brit that has been proven to be untrue? Well, that's the thing. What has been said about Brit that has been proven to be true is where I would start, Sophia darling, because don't you have to prove you have to prove guilt, because innocence is assumed just based off of the law as it currently is. You're innocent until proven guilty, right? So Kenya would actually have to be the one proving her claims. Wait, how does it work? Innocent until proven guilty. So the question is, what is Kenya said that's untrue? That would have to be, that's what the court will decide if it's going to go there. Because basically Brit is innocent, period. Whatever Kenya said about Brittany, even if but then now you're saying that Kenya had the proof because she had the poster board allegedly. She had her little thing that said insurance. So I don't know what the actual papers said that would have proven that it was insurance fraud hoe. But she's saying that that's proof about what she's saying, so that what she's saying is true. And now Brit would be having to prove how it's untrue. I guess innocent until proven guilty. However it works, they be changing the things on. We can't ask the ACLU about it though, because they definitely changed the definition. Yeah, no, ATLian. I love her. I love Michelle ATLian. Everybody should go subscribe if they have not already, because there's enough to go around. Okay. Yes, I saw the picture and I had it saved on my phone, and then I was going to show somebody, and then I was like, no, because would I too then be distributing this as revenge porn? Because I didn't get Brit's picture of permission, and her face is clearly in it. The man's face is what's missing. All you see is a penis, a very large semi-erect penis, and a picture of Brit Eady, but it doesn't look like a sex scene at all, because she has on like a cashmere sweater with a full pearl necklace and pearl earrings, and she doesn't have her eyes or her mouth in those pornographic ways, like, like squint your eyes, like, ooh, it's sexy time, daddy. It does like, ooh, let me take that, cuddle that. It wasn't on none of that. It actually looked like a business photo. So it could have been fake or whatever, which is another reason why I'm not even telling y'all where to go look at it, because it could be fake. At this point, based off of what I saw, it could be fake. And if that is what she put up there, then she's even stupider, because specifically in Georgia law, all it took was for me to Google it one time and find that as recently as July 2021, Georgia law was updated to include that if you made fake images of people and posted them and they were explicit, that too is revenge P. So, hey, I guess you don't like Google. Yeah. If it was the other way around, Kenya would have wanted her fired, not suspended. Hello. Zelene said the poster, but her business would have been enough. Yeah, like why double team? So you have a Snapchat speech ready and allegation prepared, and then you have this insurance fraud, so you're ruining her business. So now too, why do you have to try to disparage her sex? life. Like it was just like nuclear reaction to whatever their situation was. The proof of guilt is on the prosecution, the plaintiff. Right on. I do not have to prove an untrue. Yep. So that means, oh, I was right. Awesome. Okay. Okay. See, I'm right. Sometimes on days that end in Y. Kenya said she was a hoe and that she was part of insurance fraud. Oh. Well, the sign that it said insurance fraud hoe is what it said on that sign. I do believe. Let me see. Where'd it go? Here, let's share real quick. I'll show us. So that's why I thought she was saying she was a hoe in insurance. But who knows with Ken? Who knows? Let's go back over here. I actually want to know what Brittany said to Kenya to make her go so far. Well, okay. So another content creator mentioned that they heard that allegedly okay, this is a whole big story, you guys. And I don't know that this is true. The content creator that I heard this from did not offer proof other than she said she talked to somebody behind the scenes. And I love her. Her name is Really BTV or Really, I think it's Really BTV. Anyway, I know her when I see her. I love her. I might be getting the things mixed up though. Really TVB or Really BTV. Anyway, so she had said the other day that allegedly, okay, you guys are going to have to play with me for a minute. When Ken was with Mark, but Mark was not present at a lunch where Todd and Candy were. And Candy said she knew some things about Mark and that she just wanted Kenya to be careful or something like that. You guys vaguely remember that happening? You vaguely remember that happening? And so, okay, you guys remember. Okay, so allegedly, per this other blogger, the person who Mark was allegedly unfaithful with, or who Kenya needed to be careful because of, was allegedly because, drum roll please, that Mark and Britt Eady were dating. That's what the girl said, y'all. I had to walk away on that because, I mean, it just kind of sounds far-fetched. But then the content creator went on to say that not only is that who Candy was referring to, but that production knew about it. And that production put that bug in Kenya's ear. And that's what made Kenya go ballistic. Allegedly. That's what the content creator said. I mean, I heard her say it, and I'm saying allegedly that that's what happened. Is allegedly Britt Eady was allegedly dating Mark, and allegedly production knew that they had previously dated and invited her on the show to be part of a cast, and then went and told Ken about it. And that's why Ken went this type of ballistic. It has nothing to do with a pow in my purse. It has nothing to do with, you said something about Brooklyn. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with allegedly that happened. Do you guys believe that shit? I kind of don't believe it. I don't believe it. I feel like that's just some more Team Twirl trying to make it impossible that Kenya would have really bitten off her nose this much to spite her face. Because I don't know if reconstructive surgery is possible with the type of bite she did on the nose this time. But that's what they said. I don't believe it. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying it, hey, I do have a Cash App, and I love a good Cash App. You guys know Mama wants a Bulldog margarita, and they have Super Taco down the street. You guys ever had a Bulldog margarita? That's where you get the margarita, and then they take a mini bottle of Corona, and they turn it upside down in your margarita. So the more you drink your margarita, the more beer comes into the thing. And then, yeah, it's something. It tastes really good. Anyway, yeah, I could be up for one of those in 102 degrees. Yeah, sure, Leah. Okay, so Bravo and production pick who they want to protect. Right. And so that's also why Ken is like, I'll be vindicated. So now that's part of the allegation too, is that could be possibly why Ken is like, oh, nothing to see here, folks. The same way that Phaedra was like, nothing to see here, folks. She thought that they was going to come and be like, oh, yeah, we did this. We said this. But right here, she's saying insurance fraud hoe. And I'm not sure what that paper has to do with. Let's see. We're going to wrap it up here. Britt, Bravo, producers pick more like messing around. I'm not asking, where'd that go? Darn, these are going fast now. I'm asking only because I want to know, because the reason to justify Kenya's response. I don't know that anything would justify it. I don't know if there's anything a human could do to another human that would warrant me as a coworker putting an explicit image up of me in a sex act would warrant it being okay. I just don't think that there's anything that would do that. There's not a reason to be had. They didn't protect Candy because Candy was down with the mess. Yep, the sex line. Candy knows about every man. Yep. What does she know about Ta? Hello. Everyone blames production, right? Kenya needs to write Aaliyah's 4-page letter and cry in a pillow. Oh, you're funny. You funny. Oh. While Kenya was allegedly married to him, huh? I don't know. I don't know if it's that. What? That's the only reason why I could see Candy saying there's need for cause for concern, is if in fact it was within the time that Ken was in his life also. But the whole allegedly married, yeah, because I don't think she married. We've never seen the actual marriage certificate, which is public record. You mean Marvin? Who knows, Candy? They are going back and forth. Darlene, this should be brought up while we're working on the clock. Let someone share this vid at your place of business. That's what I'm saying. That never would it be acceptable. Insurance fraud hoe. Are you really this confused as to why this is foul? Like, I don't know. Wait, this should be brought up. Working on the clock. Kenya hates a pretty young thing. Yes. And I feel like I don't know. I kind of feel like nothing can make this okay. Kenya was wrong. I'm way surprised that Candy had this to say. Let's listen to it one more time before we bounce, because this is what started it all. Where was it? Was this kind of had me interested. And then we're going to leave. Thanks for coming to LRGA Curves.
Somebody,
believe it or not, that drama.
If it was in the public, if it was in, you know what? I right now I'm like, okay, it's good. I ain't there, good, you know. But Cynthia's like, okay, once the show actually airs, she said I'm gonna miss it then. Okay. I don't miss it so much now, and realistically, I do see stuff, and I'm like, why they doing that? Like, I don't like the fact that they suspended Kenya. Yeah. I know a lot of people's like, she shouldn't have shown that, but it's the Housewives. Like, how many times we done did something that you think somebody shouldn't do? So who made the rules? Like, why y'all all of a sudden got such an issue with somebody doing something crazy to somebody?
Believe
like,
it or not, that drama.
If it was in the public, if it was in the internet, and the girl came at her, it's like, okay, well, that was the rule. You don't get to choose how she come back. So I just wasn't feeling all of that. But hey, we'll see when it come on TV.
Yeah. Isn't that so? I saw that and I had a feeling about it, because after everything that was done during that time of keeping Phaedra off the show and all of that stuff, it was just like a really interesting time. And for her to now be like, there's no rule book, but we read the article that she was ready to sue in 2017 when it happened. She was talking to a lawyer. It damaged her. It was horrible. It was da 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 da, you know? Um, so yeah, there's just a real big glaring blind spot, I feel, around the whole situation. Yeah. Oh yeah. So any mods still in the house? If there's any mods, can somebody please drop Q and DJ's channel? She only needs like 4 more subs, I think. She only needs 4 more subs over there on their YouTube channel to get to their first goal of 500, I believe. So if somebody could drop her link, that would be fabulous if the Curvies can support, because there's enough to go around. I love when people are building, trying to do things. You know. Okay, let's see. So hasn't Tiny and T.I. been accused of dress? Birds of a feather flock to freaking together, Chanel. I said the same thing. I was like, oh, that shit runs in the friendship, huh? Because T.I. and Tiny did get in trouble for allegedly drugging people and having their way with their feet. Remember, it was something about feet-centric stuff. Remember the lady woke up with her feet sore? Something happened. I don't know, allegedly. 3 for 50. Oh, 3 for 50. Oh, they just started. So all they need is 3 for their first goal of 50 subs. Yeah, that's excellent. If somebody can drop her link, that'd be great. Candy only saying that because she doesn't want anybody on the show. Phaedra didn't say that. Yep. I don't believe Britt would have gotten tangled up with a newly married man on a show and then come on the show married herself. I don't believe it for a second either. That just seems really far-fetched. And I've heard some of the things that Team Twirl has come. Oh, thank you, Bianca. And I heard some of the things that Team Twirl has come up with in order to make it seem like the audio we heard wasn't Ken's voice, like the images that are floating around aren't the images, or like we haven't heard any more about the pow pow in the purse situation, or like even that would have been a reason to do this kind, because you can't gauge how people react. And if that's the case, like Candy pointed out, you cannot gauge how people react. And during the time that Phaedra was lying allegedly on Candy, it was during a time when Candy was giving Phaedra the cold shoulder, and she felt that Candy wasn't being right to her. So shouldn't Candy have just had a spoonful of her own medicine then and said that, oh, well, I had done X, Y, or at least Phaedra felt like I had done this to her. And so she was reacting, and I can't gauge how Phaedra would react. So she went and spread this lie about me that became a truth. So was it a lie, or did Phaedra know that there was a dungeon because she was so close with Candy at one time and did introduce her to that husband? I could see her being like, yeah, girl, we went to the dungeon last night. I could see some shit like that happening if you introduced me to my now husband. I would call and tell you what I did with him in the dungeon. Yeah, I would do that. But allegedly, I don't know. Allegedly. Okay, you guys, happy Saturday. Let's get out of here. Go out, get some vitamin D. If you got melanin, that's going to activate it. If you don't, it's going to feel really good and be healing anyway. And be out and just go get enough, have enough, be enough, because there's more than enough to go around. And you know what? God woke you up and God wants you to win, right? Everything that you want to have, do, be in this life is on your heart because God put it there for a reason. That means that you just have to go catch up to it. Okay. So keep an ear out, keep an eye out for the guidance that's coming, because keep an eye out for the signs that you're in the right path, doing the right thing, because you know, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard out here, but let's make it easy, because we can make it easy if we want. Anyway, I'm getting off of here. I just keep going on and on. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first.